Welcome back to the deep dive. We talk a lot about relationships on this show, but have you ever stopped to think about how much of what we call love might actually be like a choice, not just a feeling? That's what we're diving into today. We're using Gary Chapman's The Five Love Languages to guide us.
Yeah, it's so easy to get swept up in the idea of love, like it's this grand, uncontrollable emotion. But Chapman really challenges that right away.
Yeah, he does. I was highlighting passages left and right when I was reading this. I love how he makes this distinction between being in love,
Hmm.
all the butterflies and fireworks,
Yeah.
and the actual need to feel loved, which is a much deeper ongoing thing.
Right, and that's where it gets interesting. Because that, in love feeling, as magical as it can be, is often temporary. It's kind of like a sugar rush. Intense but fleeting. And the real challenge, I think, is for most of us in long-term relationships. It's how to sustain that feeling of being loved. Once the initial excitement fades.
Yeah, exactly. And Chapman argues that's where the choice comes in. He has this great story about a couple, Brent and Becky, who come to him for counseling. And Becky feels like her love tank is half full, but Brent's is totally empty. It's like the perfect way to show how two people can be in the same relationship, but experiencing totally different levels of feeling loved.
Oh, yeah. I think that resonates with so many people, right? You might be doing all these things that you think are loving, but if they're not speaking to your partner's needs, their love tank is going to stay empty.
It's almost like we're speaking different love languages,
Yeah.
which conveniently is exactly what Chapman talks about.
Right. Such a cool concept. This idea that we each have a main way of receiving love, like words of affirmation, quality time, receiving gifts, acts of service, or physical touch.
Okay, so let's say my love language is acts of service. So things like doing the dishes or taking out the trash make me feel loved. But my partner's love language is words of affirmation. So they need to hear "I love you" or compliments to feel appreciated. If I'm always doing chores but never actually saying anything nice, they might still feel neglected even though I'm working hard to show them love.
Exactly. And that's why simply feeling love isn't enough. Chapman makes it clear love is a verb. It's about making the choice to express love in a way that works for your partner, even if it doesn't come naturally to you.
So Brent and Becky, they had their breakthrough when they finally understood and started speaking each other's love languages. It wasn't about these big gestures. It was about consistently making an effort to fill each other's love tanks in a way that really mattered to them.
It's interesting because a lot of people, I think, at first they kind of resist this idea of love as a choice. It feels almost like a transaction, like we're keeping score or something. But Chapman isn't saying love is just these calculated actions. It's more about being intentional.
Right. It's not about losing the spontaneity
Right.
or the romance.
Mhm.
It's about adding a layer of understanding to your actions. You can still surprise your partner with flowers, but if their love language is quality time, maybe you pair those flowers with a plan to have a tech-free night together. So you're taking your natural love and making sure it hits the right target.
Yeah. And I think that's what makes all of this so powerful. It gives you this framework, not only for understanding your partner better, but also understanding yourself. Because once you know your own love language,
Hmm.
you start to recognize what fills your tank.
Yeah.
And you can communicate that to your partner way better.
Yeah, it's like you're finally allowing yourself to say what you need,
Yeah.
which can be so hard to do in a relationship.
It really is, but it's so important. For a good relationship, you know one that makes you happy. And this is what I think is so interesting about love as a choice. Because sometimes choosing to love is hard. Life gets in the way, we get busy and stressed and annoyed. All those lovey-dovey feelings from the beginning can really take a hit.
For sure. It's easy to show love when you're feeling all lovey-dovey. But what about when you've just had a fight or you're just exhausted from everything going on?
That's when Chapman's book really changes things. He says that choosing to love, even when it's hard, can make your relationship stronger. It's like you're working out a muscle. The more you choose to show up for your partner in a way that matters to them, the stronger that love muscle gets.
So it's not just about expressing love when it's easy. It's about putting in the effort even when you don't feel like it.
Yes, and there's actually a bunch of research on this. Studies show that couples that make an effort to be grateful and do nice things for each other on purpose, they end up being happier in their relationships. It's like those acts of love create a cycle. They make you feel closer and strengthen the bond.
That makes me think of those love challenge videos online where couples have to do something nice for each other every day for a month. It sounds cheesy, but maybe it actually works. Maybe we should all be trying to add a little bit of love into our relationships, even when we're not feeling romantic.
I think so. And those little things don't have to be big or expensive. Remember, it's all about speaking your partner's love language. If they love quality time, just putting down your phone and being present with them for an hour. could mean more than any gift.
And if their love language is acts of service, taking out the trash without being asked could be the most romantic thing ever.
Exactly. It's about knowing what makes your partner feel loved and making a choice to do those things, even when you'd rather be doing something else.
Okay, so I'm starting to get this whole love as a choice thing. But what about when my love language and my partner's clash? Like, what if I'm all about physical touch, but my partner isn't? Are we doomed?
Not at all. It just means you have to get a little creative, maybe try something new. Love is about taking care of each other's needs, not just your own.
So it's like we're learning a new dance together. It might be a little awkward at first, but eventually we figure out how to move together in a way that feels good for both of us.
I love that analogy. And remember, this isn't about changing who you are. It's about learning to love in a way that works for both of you.
So it's not about pretending to like things you don't. It's about figuring out how to show love in a way that your partner understands.
Yes. And it might surprise you. Once you start making an effort to speak your partner's love language, even if it feels weird at first, the relationship actually becomes more rewarding for both of you.
Because you both feel seen and appreciated. You're not just like throwing love out there and hoping for the best. You're aiming right for the heart.
Exactly. When both of you feel loved, it builds trust and closeness.
But let's be real, not every relationship is perfect. What about when, even if you try your best, things just aren't working?
That's a really good question. And it brings up something important that Chapman talks about. Choosing to love doesn't mean you have to stay in a relationship no matter what. Sometimes the best thing you can do for yourself and your partner is to walk away.
So choosing to love doesn't mean staying together no matter what.
Exactly. Love means respecting yourself and your partner enough to know when it's time to move on.
So maybe that's the ultimate act of love. Letting go so that you can both find happiness, even if it's not with each other.
That's a beautiful way to put it. It reminds us that love isn't always easy. It can be messy and complicated and sometimes even painful. But even when it's hard, we can always choose how we respond, how we show up for ourselves and the people we care about.
This is so powerful. I think we all want to love and be loved, but sometimes we get lost in all the rules and expectations.
Absolutely. And Chapman gives us a new way to look at things. He helps us take charge of our love lives and build real connections based on understanding respect and conscious choice.
This is so inspiring. I kind of just want to go home and talk to my partner about all this right now.
I love that. I think that's the best place to start. Just being aware of all this can change so much.
Definitely. But like, how do we actually do it? How do we figure out our love language?
Well, Chapman has that quiz in his book, That's always a good place to start. But you can also just think about what makes you feel most loved in your day-to-day life. Like, what does your partner do that makes you feel all warm and fuzzy?
Ooh, I like that. It's like we're love detectives.
Yeah.
What are the clues that tell me I'm feeling truly loved?
Yes, exactly. And you can do the same thing for your partner. Pay attention to how they react to different ways of showing love, what makes them happy.
And even if you think you know your partner's love language, it's good to double check, make sure you're on the same page.
Yeah.
Because people change, right? What we need and what we like can change over time.
Oh, absolutely. It's not like a one-time thing. You have to keep talking about it. Sometimes the biggest surprise is realizing your partner's love language isn't what you thought at all.
Right. Like maybe you've been buying them all these gifts, when what they really want is for you to just put down your phone and talk to them.
Exactly. That's why communication is key. Talk about what makes you both feel loved and appreciated.
It's like we're making a love map for each other.
I love that.
This has been so eye-opening. I feel like I have all these new tools for dealing with love and relationships.
That's great to hear. And remember, this is just the beginning. Chapman's book goes way deeper into each love language with tons of practical tips.
So for anyone who wants to learn more, we highly recommend The 5 Love Languages. It'll change your life.
It really will. And the best part is you can use it for all kinds of relationships.
That's so true. I'm already thinking about how I can use this with my friends and family.
And that's what's so great about it. Understanding each other's love languages can change any relationship for the better.
Well, I think we've given our listeners a lot to think about today. A big thank you to our expert for all their amazing insights.
It was my pleasure.
And to all our amazing listeners. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into love is a choice. Remember, love is a verb. It's something we do, something we choose to work on every day. Until next time, keep choosing love.